how are you all today? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I haven't done a further episode in how to make a basic junk journal, but I'd like to pick up where we left off. My subscriber challenge is just about at an end, and you would have seen all the episodes by now. So we're moving on to where I last was busy, because this has been kept me very busy with all those beautiful entries that everybody put together, which are absolutely stunning. So now we're back at creating the journal. So where we last left off, I had shown you how to make tea stain paper and fabrics. So we've done all of that. So what I wanted to do today was get into choosing our pages. Now this is the cover. This is where we left off. We've layered this all. We've put in a central bit here for our signature, just to strengthen the spine, and everything is ready to go. So we've got about a half an inch here for our spine. So I'm going to make one signature journal, but it's going to be quite a few pages in there. So what I used was this image from Calico Collage. So I'm going to stick with one digital, because I really, for people who might not have used a digital before, I don't want to go and get you to spend lots of money on lots of different digitals. So I'm sticking with the one. The one I'm using, which is where this picture came from, is called Blooming Spring by Calico Collage, and you will have the link in the description box below, so please feel free to have a look. Obviously you can use whichever digitals or pages or scrapbook paper or anything else, or no digitals at all. This is just what I'm using, because I know people will ask me. Right, so the first thing I want to do is really measure the width of the pages. Now these are 16 centimeters or 6.5 inches wide, and 8 3/4, or I think it's 22 centimeters long. So we don't want anything that's going to not fit in that space. Now, just to put that aside for a minute, what I've done here now is, because I was talking away and recording nothing, I've taken some of the digital sheets that we tea dyed in the tutorial, and I have folded them in half. So if you have a look at that, as far as fitting is concerned, and you had to put that into the journal, you will see that you've got plenty space there to fit in lace or tabs or anything else that you might want to do on the edge there. And as far as height is concerned, we've got a perfect spacing at the top and the bottom. So I'm happy with that. So I have decided that I don't want any page to exceed this width here, or this height, and on either side. I don't mind, and I like different layers, so I'll have things that are shorter, but I'm not going to exceed that measurement there, or there. So it has to fit within there, and I'll show you some ideas of things that I might do to the pages to do that. Doesn't always mean I'm going to cut them off. All right, so this is going to be the measure, and what I've done here is I've folded, I thought it was 4, and 4 it is. I've taken 4 of the sheets of paper, and I've folded those all in half, and that will be what we're going to use in the signature. Then I have taken, and this is very cute to see, so I'll lift that up. I've printed on a piece of tracing paper one of the pages from that digital kit as well, with the cute little chicks and the butterflies, so it's really pretty. So I've done that, so we're going to use one of those. And I've also taken another 2 of the pages. This one has these 2 birds and butterflies. I've printed them on both sides, so there we go. And this one as well. So we've got that, and those 2 pages I'm going to use in the book as well. Now I've taken some light pink parchment paper. I got this off eBay, because I know people will ask me that. And I'm going to use a piece of that light pink. I've just folded that in half. But the blue parchment, what I've done here is I have folded a fold there to have, which I'm going to use as a tuck spot. And once I folded the fold, I then measured up the two edges of the fold and folded that in half. So that one's going to be slightly shorter, but we want layers, so that's what we do there. And then we come on to some floral pages. So life isn't complete, and no journal is unless you have a page or two from Edith Holden. So I've just grabbed that. This is going to be a lot bigger. I will show you what you need to do with that, so don't worry about that at this point. I am going to use a couple of these from the Observer's little books, and then I've got a couple of these pages I'm going to use as well, because they're all lovely and pastel and beautiful. So I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to put in one of these envelopes I got from my marketing, and then I'm putting in my water bill, not the bill but the envelope, so I'm going to use that. And what I'm going to do here is we can just fold these in half as well. So where's the lovely bone folder disappeared to? We just do that. And this one as well. Don't worry, I mean this one's got a, I've torn this bit over there, don't worry, because we will be covering that, so that's okay. And then this one as well, so those will go in there. I've got this piece of scrapbook paper that I've had lying about, so I'm going to fold that in half as well. I've printed this digital, which is like an avocado dyed page, so that I'm going to put in there. And then I've got these vintage school exercise books, beautiful ivory paper, which I managed to pick up, so I'm going to put in 2 of those. And here is some vintage wallpaper, some lovely yellows to go with the birds, and it's got birds on and bees, so that's cute. We'll be using some of that. Here's that page I took, which is really big, but don't worry about that at this point. And I've got beautiful bees. I've dropped tea on here, so that's given it a lovely look. We're going to use that. And then of course here's just a piece of craft paper, which is also going to just be folded in half. And very lastly, a piece of music paper. So everything needs to be folded in half. We'll get to sorting out what we're going to do with the various things as we put these things together. So let's start off in the beginning. Again, just put that like that, and we've got our 4 papers like this. So what we want to do is let's put them all in together at this point, and we're going to sort as we go. So we've got all 4 of those together, and they are fitting like a book at the moment. So they're the pages. Now as we go, we're going to decide what's going to go where. Now we'll come back to that. We want to find something that's going to look lovely in the middle, and I think it's going to be this. So what I'm going to do here is I want to line this up with the top. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to fold this up. We're not going to cut this off this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold our finger there, measure the top of the page, look where the bottom is, and fold that over that way. And we're going to make that a pocket for the middle with some goodies in there. So I'm quite happy with that. And then what we will do is we'll trim off the bit that we don't need that way. We can't, it's got to come off somewhere, so unfortunately it's going to have to be there. What you could do is fold it this way and have another pocket there, but I think that's just too much. I quite like the idea of having something up there, and I can pack things in the middle up there. So at the moment that's one's going in the middle, so that's the middle one. We also need to choose which one we're going to have on the very front. So with these 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say one, I'm going to put one just on the inside, and we're going to go further in and put another one over here. So I'm just what I'm doing is I'm really just spacing the designs through the layouts here. So now we've got one there, we don't have one there, we need one over here, so I'm going to put that one over here. So there we go, we've got one every second page at the moment. So we still need to find something for the very front, and it might have to be Edith Holden, and I think that would look really nice with the cover. So I think I'm going to put Edith Holden on the front like that. Again, I will show you what we're going to do with the edges. Now we want to have, we've got these two here, so I think what we will do is we will put this blue one over here because that's creating a nice layer, and then of course we've got Edith Holden over there, so that's looking great. So I want to then find another spot for that one, and I think it's going to be here. Let's see if that's going to look all right with the vellum. Yeah, that's looking lovely, so I quite like that. And then we've got that there, we've got that there, we've got that all over there. So now we want to find a spot for this bit. So, and that's all good. That's all good. I think that these two are plain, so I'm going to put it in there like that. So we've got plain over here, so we want to have something else over there. So I had some lovely pages over here, but I just want to find, I think I'm going to turn it around. Let's see, that's like that there, that's plain. I think we'll put this over here like that, and then we want one further back, so let's put that over there. Now we will cover up the bits we don't want to see, so don't worry about that. What else have I got here that's a page? I've got this yellow that I want to put in somewhere. Now I'm looking for something that it could match with. I quite like that over there, so let's put that in there. There's yellow on both sides. And then I've got to find somewhere for the music paper and the craft paper. So I don't want to put anything there because of the image that we've done there. So that's looking cool. We might want to put something here, but what I'm going to put there is these little things because I like the little matching bits there. So I'm going to turn that over and I'm going to layer these two like this. Oh, let's do that like this. So that's pretty. Yeah, those are the, so let's do that there. Or do we want some blue there? What's on this side? Yeah, I'm going to have some blue there and some pink. So I'll just mix these around to suit myself. So if we open that up like that, that can go there. Right, so let's have a look. Let's start at the beginning again and see how we go. This is looking a bit plain. So we've got that on the front. Something needs to go here. What will it be? It might be this. So let's have this here. That's fine. And then we're going to have a fold. We're going to put something there. That's looking exciting. That looks lovely. This is too plain. This will fold in, but we want to have something else here. And if I fold this over, it's going to be very yellow. So I think what I'll do is hang on to that thought. Let's see where we go. So that's lovely. That's all good. That I must change this because this is too dark. I don't like that. This is very plain. So what we could do here is introduce this. That's a little bit more exciting. That looks fine. Happy with that. We wanted another envelope somewhere, so it might be here, and that can go like that, and decisions. So we don't want to do that's our middle page. That's everything there. Let's put some music paper in here. Like that. And do I want to use the craft paper? Let's see. I'm going to have that over there. That over there. That's fine. That's all good. I might change my mind, but I'll put it in here because I think that's the only other place it can be. Yeah, and pretty much I'm quite happy with all of that. That's looking quite good so far. All that remains to be done is I have this, but I might use this to make a little note scrappy pad. I might come back to that one. So if you have a look at it now, we've got quite a few pages. Let's have a quick flip through of what we've got. We're going to have Edith Holden there. We're going to cover that. We're going to have this with a flip out. We've got a nice botanical there. We've got this over here, which we can do things on. We've got this lovely bit over there. And I think what I'll do is, I'll come back to that. And that's looking lovely. We've got our vellum sheet. We've got our two little pages. That there. It's looking lovely so far. I like all the layers. So there we go. And then we have this big one over here. I think that what I think might be a bit missing a bit could be this. So I think I'm going to take one of these with the lines. I don't know if I want to put it in with lines. No, I'm not going to do it. I will deal with that separately. Right, so there's our book. So how many pages is that? 1, 2, I've got an envelope, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19. Like one short. We'll think about that and have a look at what we want to put in. Right, so I've got 19 there. That's ample. That's quite thick. We don't want it more than that because once we've put everything in there and we start embellishing all of that, it's going to be quite full. Now we'll sort that out in a minute. All right, so that's looking great at the moment, and I think already it's not lying flat. So I think that's more than enough. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to start cutting down. So I'm going to run and go and get my trimmer quickly, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I want to do now is with this Eden Holden page, I want to find the original page here, the tea-dye paper, and what we want to do is just go and put that on the inside there quickly, just to mark, slide it up slightly, sorry, just to mark where you need to be as far as measurements are concerned, because we're going to cut this off. So that's where we want to be, over there. So, and then of course we want to just take off a slither over there, so that'll be up to there, and then we want to take off a slither over there as well. So let's do that quickly with the trimmer. So we'll do this first, and you don't want to go too close, so that's great. Then on this side we want to take off, it's going to take off the dune, but there's nothing I can really do about that. So let's just do that like that, and that's that. And then the last bit is this bit here. Right, so that's there we go. So that's going to be our front page. So this goes back there, this goes back here, and there we have a front page already. Okay, so that's all fine, that's fine, that's fine, that's all good. That's the thing we're sizing against. These will be right. The next thing is this. So what we'll do here is, don't be afraid of layers. So I'm going to make a layer here. That is, let's just make sure this is straight before I start doing all of this. I hope it is. Oh, it's not. So let's just line that up quickly. Hold that tight, and then just use your bone folder to make sure that it is lined up. Okay, so now what we can do is we can take it as a page or we can fold it over. So let's fold it over. So we'll need to do that about here. So let's just line up, just quickly lining up to make sure I've got this straight, because it's not quite straight. And just cut off the edges. So that's there. And then again this side, just to make sure. I don't like things skew. That's great. And then this bit as well, just take a slither off there. Like that. And that's perfect. So at least we're working with a square item now. So then all we need to do is, wallpaper does feel lovely to work with, so that's all right. So all we need to do now is, again, just measure where you want to have the fold. I'm going to make it slightly narrower than the page before, so I'm going to do that because I like seeing various layers across my pages. So that's great there, and then the same on the other side. So let's just take that up for a minute, and then we can do the same here. There we go. So that's that there, and that's that there, and that's all good. And that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Lots of fines. All gooch, as my daughter says. Is that one? That's all within spec. I think this one's a bit long. It needs a bit of trimming. So let's just take those out like that so we know where it goes. Line it up to one of the tea-dyed pages. It's just the length that's a bit off. So again, now you can't quite see what I'm doing, but oh, something's not right there. Let's just make sure it's right, and then I'm just going to trim off the top. Oops, and it's not liking it, so what I know is that where I need to trim it. But as you can see, it tore. That's why I don't like trimmers. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to eyeball this, otherwise it's going to rip the paper. Right, that's brilliant. Okay, so how did I have this? That was there, and I've lost the plot now. Well, so that was like that, and that was like that, I think. No, yes. Okay, well, we'll get to that. Right, so that's all fine, that's all fine. And then all that remains to be done is to trim off this big page over here. Now, when you get to the middle, things tend to stick out more. So just be mindful of that. I think the best thing to do here is first get it all together, and then hold it down so that you can see exactly how far this is going to stick out. Alright, so this is going to stick out quite a lot. So what you need to do is open this up, shove your nails into the spine bit, press it right in. If you've got some clips like these, then just clip that at the top, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure that they are as firmly in as possible and just put those in there like that. So now when I close this up, a bit too close, let's just grip that there again. Okay, and this one. Alright, now I know where they're going to be. Oh, this one's a bit skewed. I'm not winning today. There we go. Now we can see how far we need to trim off there. So both of these need to be trimmed. So I'm just drawing a line there where they need to be trimmed. So hopefully you can see that. Right, so we can take these off now. And these last two, this, and I had another piece here. Yeah, this one. We need to trim that off over there, so let's do that. So just move that in. Now I think the best is to unfold this and then trim off the bit that you don't want. So I'll just match that up there and that up there, and I'm just going to take that straight down like that. So there we go. Right, now you can fold back your sheet because we'll have a nice pocket there, and that is looking gorgeous with all the right bits that I wanted, and there as well, and that's going to go in our middle. So I think we've pretty much done all the trimming that we need to do at this point. We might at the end decide to trim out the middle, but to be honest, I'm not overly worried about some of the things. Some people like to trim that with their craft knife. Go right ahead. That's individual, so it's up to you, you know. We'll see how we go when I've finished the rest. So we have now got our pages for our journal incomplete here. They are all the ones we're going to use, so that's going to fit beautifully in the middle there. And if you have a look the way it's going to be, that's really cool there, and then that's going to fit that much there, that much at the bottom, and you've got plenty overhang over there. We might get to trim the edges, and I'll show you how to do that at some point. So at the moment we've got our pages and our journal. So I hope that you've been able to work out what I was doing. That sounded a bit confusing, but that's what we're going to do. Well, that's the way I do it, the way I shingle everything in and how I sort things along the way. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope it made sense. What we're going to do next time is, I don't sew my signature in to my journal cover until the very end. I like to, when I'm working, I don't, I do what I want to the pages completely with everything, and at the very end, when I'm happy with all the design bits, that's when I sew it into my cover, not before. because it's much easier if I want to stencil here that I can take this page out, or if I want to sew in something, you don't want to have to take the whole book to sew in something. It's up to you though, but this works easier for me. So that's the way I do it. So I hope that you've enjoyed that and it makes sense. Next time we'll start working on some of the decorations we want to put onto some of the pages. So thank you so much for spending time with me. I hope this has helped in some way. This is mainly for beginners, but obviously I enjoy watching other people's processes as well. And if you want to see how to make something a little bit more involved, I recommend you go and have a look at Carol. Carol Parker from Oak House Journals has a fantastic trifold journal tutorial, all the steps that she uses as well, which I found fascinating. So please go and visit her as well. But until next time, goodbye.